Hi everyone, welcome back to another edition of the Velvet Lounge Life. Please remember to subscribe, give us a thumbs up, leave a comment. That helps us greatly if you do nothing else. We also have a new Patreon account that you can check out. The information is on the About tab of our YouTube channel. So this is a very, I don't know how I feel about this video. And the reason why is I have a good old friend who's been around with me for quite a long time that is going to have a new home. Ironically, in the same state where I live, except for it's like on the other side, the western end. So it'll still be in the state, but it will definitely have a brand new home. And what is that item, do you ask? Well, it is one of my buttons. And it should be coming into the shot at any minute. There it goes. There he is. I always thought of it as a he. And I'm sorry if you can't see the colors that well. Let me try putting something white behind it. But it's this beautiful avocado green. And the other side is a dark purple. So this is a deep dark purple, and it's obviously purple when you can see it in the bright light. And what's really cool is how they're fused together, these two different colors. And this is a Bakelite button with a rounded brass applied shank. This used to be like one of my favorite buttons for quite a while, but it's time for me to sort of whittle down my collection because I do have some other button news for you. And that is, I will be on an adventure to Rhode Island to pick up 60 pounds of buttons that are supposedly from someone who is a collector, supposedly, and I say supposedly a lot here because we don't know what's true or false until we look at these things. Oh, and let me show you how big this button is. This is a pretty big one. Actually, I can compare it to a business card. So you can see how long this is. That is a really big button, and it's pretty thick as well. And it reminds me of a Zeppelin, or a blimp. Some people would call it a blimp, or a Zeppelin, as they were originally called. Oh, and I will tell you what this sold for. It sold for a total of $29, and that included shipping, which is only going to be like $2 and some change. So yeah, saying bye-bye, 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 come back, okay, bye-bye. Nope, new home, time for new home. But something that will be happening, as I alluded to, is I will be on a trip to Rhode Island, a buying trip for our business, but also for this button adventure to pick up over 60 pounds of buttons. I will tell you everything about them. I'll tell you right now what I'll be paying is $80 for the 60 pounds. So that's like more than $1 a pound. And supposedly they're going to throw in some other stuff. We'll see, because, sometimes you buy this stuff or you look at this stuff, I should say, from people online, and then you go see it physically in person and you are so disappointed. Honestly, I'm kind of erring on the side, and I really do have the feeling that I might be disappointed. I hope not, but I'm an honest and realistic person. And I've been doing this long enough to know what the expectation level should be. So some of the things I can tell you about this potential buy is, one, I will be paying cash. So what that means is if you ever do this, never pay up front, because if you do, it will be incredibly hard for you to get your money back. But if you pay cash in person and if you tell them that that's the arrangement and they agree to it, then what happens is you have an out. And I put my out in writing to them, telling them, if the variety of buttons isn't there, then I won't be able to use these. So they already know that, what I'm expecting. And if I get there and let's say it's all just a bunch of, inexpensive plastic buttons, then I will not be leaving my $80 behind. Now, to me, $80 is not a lot of money. To some people, $80 might be a lot of money. So that's the other thing. Make sure that you come up with a price that you both agree on. So, for example, initially these were listed at over $100, and then they listed them again at $100. And so I decided to make contact, and I offered $75, and they came back at $80, and I was okay with that. These were not items that I purchased on eBay. They were through, like, for example, if your newspaper has a way for you to buy, sell, trade, whatever, it's sort of like that, but I can't tell you the second where it was, but I will reveal that in one of the unboxing videos. And yes, that's the other thing. I will have several unboxing videos where I will show you what I have. I will also, pull out the ones that I think are the better or best, most interesting and show you those, or if they, have any decent value to them. Also, it's possible I might go there and not make the deal, because if I don't find enough variety, then I will not make the deal. So I will let you know if that happens. And what else can I tell you about it? So part of the backstory that they gave is that they actually buy storage units. And supposedly this person, I guess, is a collector of some sort. And supposedly a lot of these buttons were in books, and they were sewn on cards. And one of their helpers, they had him remove as many as he could from the books and the cards. I could kind of see the books if they're bulky, but why would you remove them from the cards? So that's why I'm also a little bit leery about this transaction. And so in doing that, he basically put them all in one giant bin, and that's how I will be buying them. So if it's true that these are from a collector or something like that, then I should end up with some really good stuff. If, it's not true, or let's say that they sold the good stuff and this is just the stuff that's left over, then, once again, I'll have to make a decision as to whether I buy any of this stuff, any of the buttons. So hopefully I will. I do have another, unboxing coming up, because I went to a sale and the ladies were so kind. We started talking about sewing and buttons. I asked them if they had any. They told me to come back the next day, and they literally gave me some buttons. What I did in return is I purchased some 45 records from them. So technically they weren't free, but kind of they were free. And out of them, there weren't like hundreds of them that were super special, but there were definitely a handful that I can show you guys that I think are worthy of you taking a look at, as well as, giving you a description of what they are, just in case you come upon them out there in the world. So there you go. Ooh, also, supposedly, which I totally believe, I have a little surprise coming in the mail. I can't wait to see what it is from someone who is really special out there. And I thank you all for supporting these videos, specifically in regards to the history of buttons, because that little implement that, helps hold us together actually has a really interesting history. You know, people weren't just, you know, let's take something and put it to, you know, on our clothes to hold it together. Initially, there was definitely thought put into it. And even nowadays, you know, not every single button is super special. We know that. But we do know that there are some out there where the designer has definitely thought about, you know, they want something that's more than just the average everyday button on that outfit. Plus, obviously, designers sometimes design or even have them commissioned with their names on it, you know, certain buttons. And then you have artisans nowadays. Some of them are taking a stab at the art of button making as well. And I am really happy about that. So I really do appreciate, you know, everyone who tunes in, everyone who leaves a comment, gives me a thumbs up. It really helps me to kind of know whether I should continue with the button series and or whether there's more for me to learn, because I love learning things, as well as when I do come across something, I really enjoy sharing, as well as, you know, we all could say farewell, have a wonderful new life with your new family to this Zeppelin button. That's Bakelite with a brass rounded applied shank. And, you know, this won't happen often, but this button was special enough. I just had to show it to you one more time before it finds its way across the state. So thank you so much for tuning in. Have a wonderful rest of your week. And please give us that thumbs up. Remember that your health is your wealth and enjoy your life.